The girl I went out with, she's fucking hot, okay? And I was like, I know that Drake is this girl is Drake's type. Straight up. Like,
but why does that feel like you're going with the award? Like, you know you're safe. Like, you know you're getting a drink, you're getting in the table, like you're...
Chemical X.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Chemical X. I'm Alessia.
I'm Veronica.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below your favorite podcast every Monday.
And leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and maybe leave us a review if you have extra time. Sorry, guys, if I'm stuttering, it's because I had a coffee and I haven't had a coffee in 3 days and I'm super jittery and I can't say my words properly because I tried really hard to stop drinking coffee because all of a sudden I turned 50 and I have heartburn every day. So I was like, let me not have a coffee. And then today I was like, okay, I'm cracking. I have an addiction. I'm going to admit it.
Yeah.
And you know, when you start like convincing yourself, you're like, one coffee won't hurt.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who got immediate heartburn.
I need to clarify something because I called Veronica the other day. And I normally really go over the podcast and I'm like, when I'm editing, I'm like, okay, we're going to cut that out and we'll save it. We'll make it a topic for another episode. And I'm listening to this week's because we're like trying to make trailers and I'm getting to the end and I'm listening. And I literally left you guys on a cliffhanger and said, Steve Aoki DM'd me and then said, Veronica, should we talk about it? No, save it for next week. Bye. Thank you all for watching the Chemical X podcast. See you next week. I like literally started panicking. I'm like, I'm not going to do this to the Chemical X listeners.
Everyone who listened till the end was like, what the fuck?
And like,
Bitch.
I'm really
Finish your
hoping
sentence.
that they were getting to the stage where they're like, hey, it's done. I didn't listen to that part. Well, I just announced it again. So I feel like I just needed to like start the episode and clarify that. I was so mad. I'm like, Veronica, I didn't delete it. She's like, no fucking way.
I said, to be honest, I don't think many people make it that far anyways. I don't even make it that far to the end of our podcast. Guys, I stopped listening 45 minutes in.
Facts. I actually am editing and I'm not listening, which is why that mistake happened. I'm just like, shut up. Annoying one
100%.
talking, annoying two. Oh, why are you talking like that? Why am I talking like that?
The only people who caught it is the people that have it like in the back of the screen, and then like it was like about to switch to the next one. They went, hold on, Steve Aoki.
They went, rewind.
What did you just say? And then it was boom, already onto the next YouTube.
And then they were like, what are they doing? What's happening? I wake up in the morning and I always wake up and the first thing anyone does is, I don't know, maybe turn their alarm off. I go through my Insta DMs. Everyone has their own techniques, right? I'm like, who wrote to me while I was sleeping?
Who thought I was pretty while I was dreaming?
And ugly. Who was it? So I look through my DMs, I go in my request, and I see a blue check mark. So I'm like, who's this? Steve Aoki. Rings a bell.
You're already having a good day.
Already having a good day because I'm like, why me?
Steve Aoki rings a bell. Are you joking?
Yeah.
Rings a bell. Yeah, it should fucking ring a bell.
But
You
you know
should know
what?
immediately who that is.
I know, but also when you first see it, you're like, who is that? And then I clicked and I'm like, oh, Steve Aoki, the DJ.
Oh, babe. My bestie.
Babe, I know you. What's up?
So what did Steve Aoki want?
Well, I'm going to tell people now. I'm not going to leave them on a cliffhanger. Hi. Coming to play New City Gas in Montreal in June. Let me know if you want to come.
This is the text everyone's waiting
So now
for.
I send it in the group chat. I'm like, ladies, he's definitely coming for Grand Prix. But I played dumb, like I always do. And I'm like, as long as I get, well, my friend told me to say this. I wasn't going to say this. As long as I get to throw the cake, what weekend you coming? June 18. And then it was just like, whatever. Good. Everything was fine. Mm-hmm. But I already knew when he was telling me he was coming, it was going to be Grand Prix weekend because who else, what artist is going to come to Montreal if it isn't for Grand Prix? Let's be real. But yeah, so now I just found out, because I'm not a diehard Steve Aoki fan, that I'm actually going to get the cake thrown in my face. So wait, how does that work? I thought I was going to be in the audience being like, let me find my enemy, get the cake, and whoops, hit your face. No, I'm the enemy.
Well, 100%. And I had to break the news to Alessia. I was like, oh, that's so cute that you wrote that. And she was like, yeah, haha. And I was like, well, you know, like that's his thing, is throwing cake at girls. And then she was like, wait, what? And I was like, well, you're getting scouted to get thrown cake at. That's all.
Shit,
and
Dubai.
I had to pull out
cake.
the YouTube videos and I said, this is going to be you. She's like, well, okay. And then we had the
I want to look
debate.
good on Grand Prix weekend. Well, we had a debate.
We had a debate. Hear me out.
No,
I
wait.
said,
well, I rather cake thrown in my face than champagne.
Disagree immediately.
Okay, here's my reasoning, okay?
By the way, just so you know, nobody listening is agreeing with you. But go on.
Okay, but
go on.
But I'll tell you why mine makes sense.
Okay.
My bag, okay, it could never close because my entire makeup case is in there, okay? So someone throws cake at me, not a problem. I'm going to the washroom and that's handled.
Okay.
Okay? And then I'll fix the rest. I'll add a bit of highlighter. Like, I literally bring everything with me, except foundation, which I'm starting to realize that weekend
You might need.
I'm going to bring the foundation. So that's my reasoning. I feel like champagne is like you're a wet dog that literally just got pissed on. But we can ask Tanya what that's like.
Well, what do you think chocolate cake looks like?
I agree, but I feel like cake, it's like once you wipe it off, like it's off. Champagne is like sticky and like there's no girl who gets champagne thrown on them and they don't just leave. It's your birthday, just go home, you're a wet dog.
Don't agree. Disagree. Because I work in a club and I will tell you, I've witnessed both actually, which is crazy to say.
Veronica,
it's crazy to say I've seen somebody get cake
if you
thrown on
hooked
them.
up with Steve Aoki before and you guys have a thing, tell me now I won't answer when he comes for Grand Prix weekend.
Well, he has longer hair than me, so I don't think it's a good match.
He has longer hair than me too. I don't think it's a good match.
Well, so first of all, champagne, I will tell you, all you need is the blow dryer in the bathroom and you're Gucci. Champagne, once it gets poured on you, that shit goes invisible once it dries, so you're good. You look a little sweaty for a bit, but you're fine. You do a little.
Yeah, you're fine. You smell like ass.
It's like a setting spray. Your makeup is glowing.
I don't know, you girls, when you go to the clubs, do you have perfume in your bag? I don't. I have makeup.
Who doesn't like the smell of Dom Perignon? I don't know if they like a chocolate fudge brownie in
They're
the
going,
club.
this girl didn't shower. What is she doing here?
Also, I will say 2 weekends ago, this girl comes to the back, like the staff area, okay, where all the bottle girls are. And she's wearing, we saw her at the beginning of the night, 18th birthday. She's wearing a gorgeous opally pearled white dress, okay? I went, baby, look amazing. Walks in, okay, 30 minutes later, barefoot, first of all, that's number one. Barefoot, cake, chocolate cake. All over her. I'm talking in her eyeballs, in her hair, smeared on her dress, on her legs, in her fingernails. And I promise you, and I will say from an experience point of view, you do not want cake. Because I was wiping. I was saying,
I don't want to
don't worry,
start
you
getting
still look
into
good. You still look good.
I don't want to start getting into the logistics of what kind of cake. Listen,
I just
I'm
wanna let you
expecting,
know.
the white cream cake with the sprinkles
The
on the
Walmart
inside.
one.
You know, like the ones with the little different rainbow colors on the inside?
Funfetti.
Funfetti, yes. And I looked at Steve Aoki's videos that looked like that. But now look, if it's chocolate, I'm going to maybe have to resume my answer.
Maybe wear black, you know?
Yeah.
But I will say that girl, she was crying on her birthday. And you know what? To be fair, I would have been crying too. I would have went home.
Can I be real,
But
though?
I said, baby, you still look amazing. Go out on the dance floor. And she had chocolate fudge in her hair. And I said, it's fine.
Did she have blonde
I'm
hair?
there dabbing with the...
Blonde hair or brown?
I think she had brown hair, but safe. Somebody could have went and got their piece of cake. Guys, cake in a club is never a good idea. Listen to me, okay? If you're planning a birthday, don't bring a cake to a club. Please.
Bring
for
cake
the love
pops.
of fucking God.
Cake pops
Bring
or...
a pizza. Why, Veronica? So you could eat it in the back room? Absolutely.
Wow.
I made a TikTok, guys, a day in my life, and I showed like people order pizzas for their tables, and then I videotaped me taking a pepperoni off the pizza, and somebody commented and was like, wow, what the fuck? My pizzas are getting touched in the back. I went, babe, any food you order in a club, if you think you're getting like a neat, clean, like a FDA approved piece of food in the club, I got news for you. So you know how many hands have touched it before it gets to your table? Many, babe. I gotta split those pieces up. You think I went, put the latex gloves on?
Yeah, no.
I split those up and
there's
I took
a reason
piece.
you're not working at a restaurant, because being a waitress is just a lot more work. And there's a
no
reason.
hairnet here, baby.
There's a reason you're a bottle waitress girl and not a waitress.
Girl? Bottle waitress girl?
Well, I don't know. Girl, boy. I don't know. Depending if you're dating Steve Aoki, I guess.
Oh, 100%. So hear me out. Well, not hear me out, but whatever. I have a question for you. Steve Aoki comes, you go, you're backstage. He says, babe, I need you to do a favor for me. He pulls out the camera. He pulls out the cake. He says, go stand in the crowd for a sec. At what point, like, are you saying yes? Because clearly you said you would rather cake versus champagne.
I want to be the girl throwing it. I'm not getting cake
Oh,
thrown
he's
at
not
me.
passing you the cake, by the way. He's not.
You don't think?
He's saying, oh, you want to throw it? Okay, get in the crowd.
But wait,
you think
why
I
would
brought
I
you
get
here for your
how
arms?
does
I
he
brought you
do-
here for those tits.
I literally have to go in the crowd and he's gonna throw it in the crowd?
Well, that's what he does. He throws the cake in the crowd,
Like
on
to
everyone.
randoms or just like people
Randoms.
that are
Are you getting the cake thrown on you?
I'm gonna go with no, just because Grand Prix, like I said, is a weekend. I'm out and about because it's a weekend. I want to be, everywhere. There's people from out of town.
Right.
I want to try and look good all day, and like, I'm not gonna be that girl Regina George. Like, she punched me, and I was like, it's the best day of my life. Like, no, if Steve Aoki throws cake in my face, like, I'm blocking.
We're in a
you.
fight.
Like we're in a fight.
Oh, I totally agree.
Maybe
I'm not
my
one of those
old,
people.
young 18-year-old self would be like, oh my God, a celebrity threw cake in my face, but like, disrespect me again. I'll fucking come at you.
Which celebrity would you allow? And today, at your big age of 26, which celeb are you allowing to throw cake in your face?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Who would you allow?
I don't know if there, for me, I don't know if there is one.
Well, now I have to, definitely G-Eazy, that's for sure.
You would let,
Throw cake all over my body.
you're like, baby, I'll take my clothes off if I have to.
Literally throw cake and then lick it all off. No problem.
Ale, there's kids watching this.
Sorry. You're right.
I don't think that there's a celeb.
Veronica.
Rihanna. I would let Rihanna beat me the fuck up, man.
Well, listen. She knows how it's like to be on the other side. So, okay.
Even if we cut that out, everybody knows what you said. You could cut it out if you want, but everyone knows what came after I said that.
Am I going to be like hated?
I think you're fine.
The most hated girl in not America, but Canada.
Quebec.
So you're allowing Rihanna, I'm allowing G-Eazy. Okay. Veronica chose a girl, I chose a guy.
I'm trying to think if there's any guy. I always forget who my celeb crush is. You know what I mean? Tom Hardy. But like, I wouldn't let him throw a
depends
cake
the
in my
setting.
face.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Like, what kind of setting is it for us to be expecting cake?
You know what I mean? And it's also like, what am I getting out of it?
You're getting a story for the podcast. If there's two people who have to be doing it, it's me and you.
Don't start saying no to Steve. Are you joking? Do you
You're
care
right.
about this podcast? You better fucking say yes.
You're right, I will.
Steve, throw that cake at her.
I just feel like if I throw it back at him, like, he's doomed the whole night with that hair.
Oh yeah, that's a knot.
So your sister Tanya was like, Alessia, like, are you joking talking about the fact that he DM'd you on the podcast before Grand Prix? Like, I don't care what you do after Grand Prix, like when we already like got the tickets and we're, in VIP with him, but who do you think you are doing it before? And I'm like, well, I didn't purposely do it last week, and now I absolutely have to just clarify. So yeah.
Well, also I think you know who you are because Steve Aoki is not watching this podcast.
He is.
I think we're safe.
He is not watching this podcast.
I actually have to tell you, probably his manager who messaged you.
Wow. Thank you so much.
But do you know what I mean, though?
Thank you so much for letting me know that I'm absolutely a nobody.
No, but I too would be the manager messaging
so
girls.
I actually
think
I don't think it was him. So here's my logic and how I think he found me. So where we worked at Vintage Frames, we did like 5 skits for eyewear, and he had posted them on his Instagram, and they follow each other. So I think that's the link of how he came about.
But do you think
Me
that
in Montreal.
celebrities manage their own Instagram accounts?
Yes, I think so.
Depends who. Some people do, some people
Well, then
do
I want to
not.
meet the manager.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, you thought I was cute? Which one thought I was cute?
Hi.
Steve?
The one who can throw cake on me is the one who actually saw potential in me. Who was it?
Everybody, raise your hand. Who was it?
Everyone raises at the same
The
time.
way I imagine it is like in House Bunny when they're putting the picture on the screen. Okay, guys, what do we think about her? Next. You got approved, baby. That must feel good because I checked my DMs,
Like
guys,
I said-
and there was no DM. I was in the same video on Vintage Frames, and there was no DM in my requests. I woke up in the morning, there was no blue check mark. There was just the same guy who writes Veronica and then unsends it and resends it every week.
So we need to talk about okay, guys. So like literally 3 months ago, I was at the Four Seasons and I was just out with my gay best friend. I was just coming back from a trip, and we were just
Gay
like,
best friend?
yeah, I was just out with my
Not just
friend.
your best friend.
I was just out with my friend, and I saw a really cute guy like sitting at a table with 2 girls, like just chatting. I'm like, who's this player over here? This cute player who's like juggling both those girls. And
You're
I'm
like, I
like,
could throw
and I'm talking to my friend, and I'm like, who? That's the hottest guy I've ever met in my life. didn't meet him, but hottest guy I've ever seen from a distance. And he looks and he's like, that's the hottest guy I've ever seen. I'm like, okay, so we're on the same page. You know when you have to confirm with a friend, you're like, am I crazy or this is the hottest guy we've ever seen?
For sure.
I always exaggerate when I say hottest guy I've ever seen.
Well, your friend that you seek for approval could have been the ugliest guy. He still would have said it's the hottest guy.
That is...
You were winning.
That is
no matter
facts. What. That is very true. And I remember going, oh, like usual, I'm going to leave and I'm never going to see this guy. So I leave. And because I had tagged the place, he had seen, I guess. Okay, so at a point, I like look at him. He looks at me and we make eye contact. But like, you know, when you make eye contact with someone, it's such a like serious moment. Mm-hmm. And when you're locking eyes with someone for longer than like 30 seconds, it's really like, you saw me naked. You know what I mean? Like, it's so up close and personal, even though we weren't up close and personal. 100%. I was like, oh my God, like, that's enough time for two people to like acknowledge each other. Anyway, so whatever. I just went on and I was like, to my friend, I was like, you do not know what just happened. Like, we locked eyes for a long enough time that it's like, it's dating. Awkward now. Like, I think we're dating. Like, I can't look up. Like, we got to leave or you need to switch spots with me. Like, this is just weird.
Yeah.
And whatever. Then we leave. And I get a DM saying, staring on point or something like your stare game or something like that. And I was like, wait, how did he find me? Then I probably through tagged and stuff, he found me. And then whatever, we just like followed each other on Instagram. But then I saw he was following you. So I'm like, Veronica, like, how do you know him? And then you can go on.
Well, Alessia said, how do you know him? And I said, oh, well, the thing is, he's been DMing me. It's 4 years.
Right.
All the time. And I don't answer really much. And he keeps
really
going. No, it's like at first, because it's been 4 years, he's DMing me. Like sometimes I'll answer because we were like following each other. And then it was like, he was just saying stuff. And it was weird. The type of person who like, would say something at like 3 a.m. and then unsend it. But it's like, weird. Like you said something, it was a risky text and I didn't answer you. I never trust people who
unsend shit.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what you said was weird, and because I didn't answer you, now you have to unsend it because you're like, ooh, like I can't just leave that there. He was that kind of person, like the kind of person like, I'll come visit you in Australia kind of person. And I was like, scary vibes. Like, you're scary.
Right.
And I would be like, I remember a couple of times I would be like, I have a boyfriend, like, because he would like say something and be like, oh, haha. And then he'd be like, and then I was like, oh, I have a boyfriend, like, you know this, like, you follow me, it's a long time. And he would just say a lot of inappropriate things and I would just be like, you're scary,
right? So I remember asking you and like, I don't know, like my ADHD, you told me, and I remember you saying, yeah, I knew him, but I forgot the part of the him being
the whole rest of the story.
So but that was really it. And then we followed each other on Instagram. Then he said like he wanted to take me out, and I never just like, we never went out. And then the one time I went to see my girlfriends and we went for dinner, he happened to like message me and be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? And I really didn't want to go clubbing. I was like, you know what? If there's anything I do, I'd probably go for a drink with this guy. Like, I'm already out. Instead of going with my friends, like, I'm just going to go for a drink. And he's like, no problem. So he picks me up at the restaurant. Now, I'm already like with my friends. We're laughing. They're all going to the club. And I'm like, I know I'm going to somewhat regret this. So already I'm like leaving the restaurant and he gets out of the car to open the door for me. And yeah, gentlemen, but not when all 5 of your friends are staring like it's a prom date.
Oh my,
that's we like, ate outside.
Sit the fuck down.
Because we ate outside on the terrace and all my friends are drunk, like wasted. Okay? We're ordering shots. People are sending shots. Like, we're drunk. Mm-hmm. I was like not as drunk, but they were. So all of a sudden, one of my friends decides it's a good idea to start clapping loud and like, woo, as if like it's my first date and like your friends are immature.
Oh my God.
Like, I turned red. I don't even think my olive skin could turn red. I was like so embarrassed, especially when you've literally never met somebody and the last time was a staring contest. Like, I'm so sorry. They're so drunk. Please. These are my friends.
I'm so sorry. I don't know them.
I'm so sorry. These are my ratchet friends. Take it or leave it. I remember texting my friends and being like, are you guys serious? They're like, honestly, it was someone's idea. And then we all just went with it. I'm like, perfect.
You're all canceled. You're all deleted.
Anyway, I thought it couldn't go more downhill than that, but it did. And I just want to confirm that, yep, Veronica, he is a creep. just, you know, when you go on a date with someone and like at first I was like, wow, this guy is so good looking. A little bit older than me, looks like he has his shit together, and like, why have I never heard of him? And then you realize down the line why you've never heard of them. You know what I mean?
I think that's why I followed him also, because I was like, oh, like,
yeah.
I think he was like following me a couple of times, and then he posted a pic, and I was like, oh, like he's like good looking, whatever. They could just never.
And then like I just
feel
feel like when we were on the date, first of all, I really like one side of my face better, which is, you know, my podcast side. And when we're on the date, I'm on my bad side the entire date. So it's very like, and we're sitting.
Babe, you could stop staring at me.
Where this table is, we're sitting on a bench. So it's not like we're like facing each other, and we're just like ordering drinks and just like, honestly, trust the vibes. You feel the vibes at the beginning. It was just weird. Super like inappropriate really early on for someone who didn't bounce back the energy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, it's like if you say something and it's inappropriate, you kind of feel the vibes. You don't do it again.
Exactly. And he was just constantly going on. And at
what
first,
was he saying?
And you know when you're like weirded out at the beginning, but you're also like, you don't want to be that person who's like making him feel awkward, because I'm such a person where I try and make it feel like everything's a joke, comfortable. So like I'm going along with it at the beginning, but like when I tell you 15 minutes in on being on the date, he saw all my colors. Like I was like, no, I never asked that. Like, you're being annoying. Like, just like even mentioning like, oh, I have a big dick. Like I never measured it, but like girls have never complained.
No.
I'm like, it's so weird because I just like never asked you your dick size. Like I was literally
good.
I was myself like really early on. And then he's saying like, I'm a freak, I'm a perv. And then I'm like, okay, there's a difference between being a freak and then being a perv. And I feel like you're crossing that boundary now too early on. And I just was like, nah, this isn't going to work. And then I remember literally just being like, I need to get out of here. Like, I don't even want to get back in the car with him and go to drive me back.
Yeah.
Like, just no. So I wrote to my friends, and towards the end, I didn't give a fuck. And I was even writing on my phone, and he's like, what are you writing to your friends? That like, I'm a creep and you want to get out? I'm like, yeah. Like, straight up. Yeah.
He probably went, haha, you're so funny.
Exactly. But I'm like, no, I'm serious. And like, he was talking and I was just uninterested. Like, you know, when someone's like a wall, like you can't. At the beginning, I tried, and then I was like, no, I can't. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to meet my friends at the club. And he was like, oh, do you want me to drive you? I'm like, well, I don't want to get in the car with you. I'm scared you're not going to bring me to the club. He's like, haha, maybe in a ditch first, and then I'll bring you. And then I'm like, oh, confirmed I'm not getting in the car with you.
Even to say that is
But it's like a joke,
weird.
But it's also, I don't know you, and I don't know anyone who knows you in order to feel safe. And then soon after, he's like, no, like, I'll actually just bring you to your friends at Flygen. And I was like, okay, like
risking my life,
but like, you know, you also feel weird, like he took you out for drinks. I'm just like, okay. And then like at this point on, he like grabs my face in the car and is like making out with me, and I'm just like, bring me to my friends.
It's very like you feel like you have to just do whatever to make it out alive.
And I'm just like, oh my God, you know when like someone's extra aggressive and it's just like not, and I just was not feeling it at all. Do you like your lawn mowed?
Yes, but I don't like mowing the lawn. That's what.
But what about when it's really easy to do?
I still prefer a man to do it.
Yeah.
Like my feminism ends at mowing the lawn. You know what I mean? Especially your own lawn.
Oh, if you can't clean your own lawn, no neighbors want to come to your yard.
Absolutely not. And I'll tell you exactly which lawnmower we're talking about and exactly which yard. And it's the one in between those legs. So guys, if you don't have a lawnmower already, you need to head over to manscaped.com, find the lawnmower 4.0, and it's the 4.0, which means that it's literally amazing, better than the 1, the 2, and the 3. And you need to make sure that that yard is slippery smooth. There is no grass left, baby.
There's no time to hide in the bushes. Guys, use our discount code ChemicalX at checkout to receive 20% off your entire order and free shipping. So ChemicalX at checkout for 20% off and free shipping.
Do you know when you shave your legs and then you get into like a pair of silk sheets and you're like, wow, this is smooth.
This is like, I can't believe I don't do this every day.
Every day, and I don't. But I'll tell you that same feeling with those freshly smooth balls. If you put them in a nice Italian-made suit, it's probably the same smoothness. You know what I mean?
Except you're feeling it like at a wedding. You're feeling it at social parties also. And in the sheets.
That's a confidence boost, I would say. So that's why you need to go to izotti.com and get yourself a nice Italian-made tailor-made suit that's going to hug you in all the right places, and you can feel that silky smoothness on your skin.
With our discount code ChemicalX at checkout for 20% off. And I just feel like he was missing a lot of social cues. And like, I think that of all things, when I'm going on a date with a guy, if someone misses social cues, like you will never see me again. I feel like that's the most important thing because I'm very aware. And when people aren't, I'm like, why are you like this? Who made you like this?
But I also think people that are like that, first of all, it's a huge red flag. But I also think that they're not. I think they're choosing to ignore them. I think that's what it is. Like, I think a lot of people like can tell you're uncomfortable and they get it, but they're choosing to ignore that and to continue going because sometimes you're just so apparent about how you're feeling. It's literally obvious, but you're choosing to ignore.
We were literally on our first drink. He's like, "What do you say we get out of here and go fuck?"
Like, what?
And I was like, do you think that you deserve sex because you bought me a drink? He's like, what do I have to do then? And I'm like, no. Like, what do you think this is? Some escorting service?
Oh my God.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and you're like, if it was, you would be paying the price, bitch. Like fuck.
Oh my God, I just couldn't.
$14 cocktail and you think I'm going to blow you?
I couldn't.
Absolutely not.
Literally.
Give me the double martini. At least.
We get it. You're Justin Green. You're a martini. So then after he decides to drive me to the club my friends were at, and then he's like, "Can I come in?" And I was like, and you know what? This is where I have to stop being that nice person. Like, and I'm normally very straight up. Like, I'll say what's up.
Yeah.
But I just think I was cornered in a way where I was like, I don't care. I'm running to my friends. Like, you can come in the club. Like, do what you want kind of thing. But now if I look back, I would have been like, absolutely no. Like, I'm just going and see my friends.
But I get why you did that. I would have done the same.
To say you can't come into the club? That's why I felt like a little in a pickle. But I probably, now looking back, I would have just said, don't come in. So he comes in. He's like, they're following me, like behind me with my shadow. But like, I'm giving every sign in the book for you to just say, bye, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And you're still choosing to stick around and like cling on, and you're just there and you're not getting drinks. You're just like, I'm there with my friends. It was just a weird vibe. And your boyfriend was out that night, okay, with his friends. And Tanya, your sister, was there. And I was just like, guys, I felt so like, guys, like somebody, like, I don't know what to do, but like, I think I'm going to lie to him and say like, I'm leaving the club. So I let all my friends know. I'm just going to say like, I'm leaving. Like, my friend's really drunk. I'm bringing her home. Like, I'm going to go. So I tried that route and he's just sticking around. Like, he's just there. Like, when someone says you're leaving, either go find new people in the club or leave. Just understand a social cue. And he just wasn't, to the point where it was like, I was talking to David, and he actually, because he's DM'd you, he knew who your boyfriend was. So he's like, David, I know who he is. But now he had no respect, obviously, for David if he DM'd you.
Yeah.
Anyway, just like chatting with him, and I was like, David, like, help. So David was talking to him for a bit. Like, we got rid of him for a bit because your boyfriend took the project on. And then at a point, your sister was like, no, like, he needs to go. And then I was like, well, Tanya, like, it's fine. Like, I'm just going to leave soon. She goes, no. She's like, I'm going to handle it. So she gets a guy to go up to him. And I said, Tanya, no, like, this I disagree with. She's like, Alette, who cares? He'll just tell him he has to leave. And I'm like, if somebody gets to the point where they don't get the social cue, you're not just going to say leave and they're going to leave. You know, now it's like you're testing their manhood. You're like, you're hitting different nerves. Anyway, so that's what she did. And it was a whole thing. And like, I never gave him the explanation. So that's where I'm like immature, I feel. But I also feel like I don't have the right to. And I wouldn't have done what Tanya did, but now I just look like I can't defend myself and I look immature. And the guy went up to him and was like, you need to leave. And he was like, what? Like, why? Like, in the end, he ended up leaving and then sending me a whole message like, I'm immature and all this. And I just, like, I get where I went wrong, but I also feel like it wasn't my place to be like, you need to go.
But also, I think there's...
But I was mad at your sister that she did that. But, like, at the same time, I was grateful. It was a weird feeling.
But I mean, I think it's really on him at the end of the day. Like, everyone just kind of did what they could to get him out of there. It was up to him to be like, I'm so clearly, obviously not wanted here. And like, everybody's uncomfortable around my presence. Like,
if I didn't invite you to Flygen, that's enough of a reason for you never to even ask to come in.
Exactly. And the fact that you're like ignoring him,
and
like,
then we're
he's just
walking to go and he goes, you think we're going to get in? Oh, God, guys.
You're like, babe, you're not even supposed to be here. Like, go back in the car.
Like, ew. I'm like, have you ever been here? Like, that I'm that bitch, you know? Like, ew.
I can't
Do you even
stand...
go here?
there's something that I like. There's nothing I hate more in this world than somebody who doesn't understand when to leave, or like doesn't understand when they're like not wanted, when the energy is not reciprocated. Like that is just
and
the
again
worst.
Maybe he got the energy at the beginning because I was like nervous and like I was trying to be like fun, and then I got to a point where I was like, no, enough is enough, and then it started getting more serious. I was like, no, like
that's just like so many red flags in one. I can't even explain. Like so many. Like the red flag started before you guys even went on the date, but
and then I was telling your sister about it the other day, and she was with you, and Veronica was like, "Well, Ale, I told you, like he's DM'd me and he said this," and I'm like, I literally don't remember like you saying that. I remember, and I even was on the date saying, "So you know Veronica? How do you know Veronica?" Like not even thinking, because at that point I didn't even remember. I'm like, "How do you know her?" He goes, "Oh, like I just been following her for a while." He like it was just the weirdest thing.
I mean, I do remember telling you like I don't really know him and like I never met
that's
him.
What
and
I remember.
And I had said like I don't know what kind of person he is.
I think
but
that's what
he
I
does
had
send me
remember.
really creepy messages. But I'm really not the person that will like cancel, and that's also my fault. Like I'll give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Like, yeah, he's cute. Like, oh, maybe
I think you
he's
didn't
normal.
word it where
like,
it was like, "Let's stay away."
But like
you didn't,
if you read
you
the
didn't know
DMs,
him.
it's very like you're weird. Like clearly there's something off. But I'm never the person to be like, oh, like I never want to be that person that's like, oh, he DMs me, like he's weird. Like I'm just like, oh, if you like him, like go, like don't let anything that happened to me stop you. But clearly maybe next time. Like that's a really huge red flag just as a person, like as a human being. If you can't understand social cues, like something is not connecting there. Like something is wrong. You know what I mean? Because if you can't understand, like I'm literally uncomfortable, like you're making me feel uncomfortable. Like no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even just like, oh, like to just make jokes.
And also when you're
when
first getting to know someone, take this as a tip. If you're a guy, it's totally fine to put your like hand on someone's leg, and like that's a way like girls and guys flirt. Like you hit the arm or like you touch the leg, and these are all like signs you're interested in someone. But when someone is one, not reciprocating that, and two, doing it too much, it's a bit like you're just trying to get in my pants. Like stop.
Yeah.
You know, there's a way of doing it that's tasteful that will actually get you laid maybe on the first date. Like, and it's not that.
Well, I will say, and it's really important for men to understand, because I don't think guys think the same way we do. And like as a girl, if you're meeting a guy you've never met before, there's so many things that we do for our safety and things that we're looking out for, because like as a woman, you know, there's so many things that could happen and we're just looking out for ourselves and our safety.
Yeah.
And if you're doing things that makes me feel uncomfortable, like you need to be hyper aware of how you're treating a girl when you first meet her and she's never met you before. Like, you know, a lot of guys, oh, come back to my apartment. Like chances are a girl's saying no because she doesn't know who you are enough. You know what I mean? Like,
and
there's a lot of
they
decisions
also have to understand that
make.
as girls, like we're still trying to be super nice.
Yeah.
So like we'll skate around things. So
exactly.
Like it's like, yeah, you need a mind read a little bit with us.
Well, no,
like
you
I'm not
just
saying
need
we're
to
not
read.
the easiest to read, but like I think
it's important to learn what body language is, and it's very important to learn like women's social cues, especially when dating, because if you're making somebody feel uncomfortable and you can't click onto that, like that's very important as a guy.
If you're touching my leg so much and I'm pulling down my dress more, like you should know, like I'm not vibing it the way you are.
And it's also like if you're making all these sexual jokes, I've never met you before, and you're making jokes like that, like no, like that's just inappropriate. I don't know who you are. I don't know anyone that knows you. You know what I mean? Like I think it's very important as a guy to put yourself in the shoes of a woman and meeting somebody you've never met before, and how things that you're doing could come off in a way that maybe you're not trying to be a predator, maybe you're not trying to make her feel unsafe, but like if I don't know you and I'm afraid for my safety, like no, you know, like it's not okay. Maybe you want to do that on the fourth date where I kind of have a feel for you and you want to start making those jokes, okay, but it's really not right when you don't even know who somebody is.
And then, you know, my friend says, well, Ale, the scene you met him in, there was 2 girls around him. I'm like, kind of true though. He was tackling both girls at the table. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I should have. And he's making eye contact. You're right. He's making eye contact with me. And
he had 2 and he still had the ability to look over them.
I'm like, you're
first red flag.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a red flag for sure.
But you know what, girls? We see, oh, he has 2 girls.
Yeah. Why is he looking at me? Why is he looking at me? I'm special.
Oh, he wants me. He has 2.
Oh,
he wants
God. Me. Naive girl I am.
Anyways, speaking about DMs. Not a DM. But speaking about messages from people you don't want to hear from. I get a message the other day on Facebook. And already, guys, I don't even have the Facebook app like downloaded.
Right.
I have Facebook Messenger for work. Okay. That's it. That's all I have. And when I see a Facebook message, I'm like, okay, already this is nobody that I speak to. Like, I already know that this is some fucking weird shit going on. And I see the message is from a guy that I dated 10 years ago. Like, I sound really old to say 10 years ago, but literally 10 years ago when I was 15, we dated. Okay. I don't even remember who you are. Why are you messaging me? I didn't even look at the message yet. I just saw the name and I said, what could there possibly be to say?
Happy birthday. Like the good old times. Late, babe.
And also, when it comes to Facebook, a fucking app I do not use. Like, it's not even like Insta where, okay, I posted a pic, you answered my story. Like, you're working with nothing. You're working with a pic from 3 years ago. I probably don't even look the same. Like,
right.
What could you be possibly saying?
What did he say, Widow Wolf?
So just to set the stone here, I dated him when I was in my like peak druggy raving stage. Okay. Like, it was just like a really weird time.
Did he get out of that scene?
So let me continue. At the time, we were both like just getting into it, and he was like very like rebel, very rebellious, druggy vibes, and like I was in that scene too. So it was very like weird, like with a lot of people that I never associate myself with now, you know? Like no friends in common, like nothing like that. And when I got out of that scene, he kind of stayed in it and got worse and started to do like, went down like a really dark road. Right. And the last that I had heard about him was like, he was literally addicted to heroin. Okay. So I was like, whoa, weird. Like, I'm never going to see this person again. I'm never going to hear from this person again because we're just like lifetimes away from each other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I see that message, I'm like, what the fuck? Okay. So I'm going to read you the message. Well, this is the juiciest thing I got all week. So, and then when I opened the message, I saw that he had actually tried messaging me like I'm seeing 2020, I'm seeing 2021. I was like, okay, he's been trying to reach out, you know? And guys,
maybe to you it's 15 years ago, but to him, Veronica, it's just yesterday.
I also will say at the time when he stopped talking to me, I was like hurt over it. Like, I wanted to date him. I wanted like a relationship with him.
Well, that's a good key point.
And he was the one who was like kind of like stopped talking to me, and I was like sad over it. Okay, so just crazy, so you became, how they always come back.
They always come back. You became a celebrity, and he's like, that girl Widow Wolf, where is she at?
So
explain to people what Widow Wolf is quickly.
Widow Wolf is my Snapchat name.
Okay,
I don't want to talk about it. Don't add me on Snapchat. Don't use that app either. So
well, not for long.
He messaged me saying, hey, I know it's been a while, but I'd like to talk to you or see you for something to eat or coffee or whatever. I have a lot to say. Let me know if you'd be down, otherwise ignore it. You look great, by the way. I always knew you would.
The fuck?
I have so many things. First of all, I have a lot to say.
I always knew you were the one.
I have a lot to say. What do you have to say to me?
No.
I have not seen you in 10 years.
What do you
have to tell me?
What?
But like, you also got me with that. I'm not gonna lie, he got me with that one. I said, okay, but tell me though.
You did not answer.
Oh, I answered. We had a whole conversation.
No.
So, also, the second thing I want to say is, you look great, by the way. Always knew you would.
What does that mean?
Is that what you're saying? I didn't look great before?
Widow Wolf was Widow Wolf before she was Veronica Rossi.
And Widow Wolf was still cute, okay? But I was like, bitch, yeah, the fuck I look great. Like, are you joking? What, now you want me? No. He did get me pre-nose job though, so I get what he means. I said, hey, lol, thanks.
Ew, you're so ugly also.
Well, if you know all the...
It's the way we read things that like, when you're texting
it's because I'm saying it like that though.
Yeah. Well, now he's going to know exactly. You're giving him a voice memo.
100%. He could know exactly what I was feeling. I wanted to write back, what the motherfuck do you have to tell me?
No.
What the motherfuck do you possibly have to say to me? But I said, hey, lol, thanks.
No, say it how you actually said it.
Hey, lol, thanks. I don't know if meeting up would be appropriate, but what's up? That's like, I still want to know though. Like, don't think I'm rejecting you, but I still want to know what you have to say.
What do you think? He has a bag full of like tricks? What do you think he wants to do, even you, to fall in the trap, you idiot?
Ale, you can get me. I'm telling you, I'm easy to get.
I know
Leave
that.
me with a cliffhanger. Leave me with like information that you
People are going to start DMing you and saying,
100%.
and with cliffhangers.
Guys, no caller ID. I answer every call because I can't live with the mystery of who's calling me.
That too. I
you know what I mean? Like,
but that's
I need
different.
To know. I need to know.
You got the message and chose to answer. The person was on the line.
He left me, you know? So he answers back, well, my life is nothing like it was. And I went, here we go. I'm getting a sales pitch.
And you know what? It is. That's why he's saying it. Oh, he has to prove that he's not what he used to be, and he's worse probably.
Babe, if you're seeing this, I'm so sorry. I've been working a lot in my spray painting company, which I have ownership of. He said the name. It's been over 5 years I'm on that grind and left behind all the prior bullshit we used to do. Why wouldn't it be appropriate? And then he sends me his business card just so that I know that he's the owner of the company.
Wow. Successful painter.
And then he goes, what about you? Anyways, let me know why you think it's inappropriate. I don't remember wronging you in any way. It says a bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, look, I got what I needed to get from this message. Real? You have nothing to say.
He sounds like a heroin addict. And I would know. I almost dated 3.
It's just like, if you're coming, like, if what you need to say to me is like proving that you've grown in life, like, look,
emergency. The guy is here to paint those rooms.
It's just, when somebody reaches out to me and their sole purpose is to let me know how good they're doing in their life.
We know they're not.
Not only that, but it's also like, I have absolutely no, like, I have no room for you in my life. I have no interest of having you in my life. I just think it's crazy. And nothing tells me more that you're not doing good in your life, like messaging me to tell me how good you're doing in your life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
because nobody who's doing good in their life is going, hey, by the way,
is reaching out to somebody 10 years ago.
That's why I said he's probably still like in that phase.
But it's just, I can never understand the people that are like trying to catch up on these friendships. Like, I'll have people every once in a while reach out to me that I was friends with fucking in high school, trying to be friends again. Let's go out for drinks. Let's go out for this. And I'm like, for what? Like, I have my friends that already I barely have time to see. And you think on my free day, I'm going to go out of my way to hang out with you to say what? What do we have in common? Why would we possibly refurbish this friendship? Like, and it sounds cruel and it sounds mean to say, and like, I get it.
Yeah.
But it just shows me that like, you're not happy in your life. And now you're trying to scrounge through the scraps of people you used to know.
You think you're scraps?
I was discarded. Like, I just think we're not friends for a reason. We didn't date for a reason. But let's look at it from
another point of view. Like, we, in a way, feel bad. Like, they're probably hurting. They're going through a lot. So let's not be too mean.
No, I don't want to be mean. I just want it to be like, if you're reaching out to me because you see, and I think this happens a lot, like when you do well for yourself and like,
Absolutely.
and people see that you're doing well and like,
hey, we should get together.
Yeah. And it's just like, you don't really care about me. You just, I see it as a very selfish thing. It's one thing if we run into each other in person and like, it's like, oh my God, hey, how are you? What are you doing in life? Like, I'm so interested to hear about it. But if you're going out of your way to show me like, hey, look what I'm doing and here's why I should have a place in your life, I find that like, okay, well, you just want this connection in a selfish way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
You don't care. Like, you have no interest in me, really. You just see, oh, I'm doing good. You want to be a part of it. Everybody wants to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You know? And I just find that distasteful. I don't feel like it's like just two old friends catching up. It's very different. You know, somebody who we haven't spoken in 10 fucking years. Like, what do you want me to mean now?
No, for sure. There's no point. That's why I think going forward, like, don't answer, obviously.
Like, guys, like I said, it's the curiosity. It killed the cat.
I could have told you exactly what he's going to write, and it was something similar to that. But
it's because he said, I have a lot to say. And I was like, point for him. Point for me, baby. Point for me.
Already somebody you haven't spoken to 15 years, they have a lot to say.
Okay, 10. Whoa, I'm not that old. But yeah, that's why I was like, what could you, like, I'm curious. Like, you piqued my curiosity. But also another thing is I was like, oh, like, it wouldn't be appropriate. And he was like, oh, why? And I was like, well, first of all, I have a boyfriend. But also, like, I don't see what you would have to say to me because I wanted to.
Pill time.
I wanted to make it clear I'm not going for coffee with you because I have a boyfriend. I'm not going for coffee with you because I have literally no reason to.
Yeah.
Like, because this was not even a thing 10 fucking years ago. Why would it be a thing now? Why would I?
It wasn't a thing because of him. Damn right it wasn't a thing. He made that very clear. But now he has a lot to say.
Well, he sent me his business card, so he's
You know what? Big. You never know when someone's going to ask you for something and you're going to be like, let me pull up that business card.
I just thought it was funny people.
But like,
back.
I don't really want to get into like drugs and like how that changes a person.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, being somebody who's like spoken to 2 people who were recovering heroin addicts, you can recover, you can become amazing. I know a guy who's like super smart, super successful, and maybe one day I'll talk about that story. But there's always a part of the brain that's gone. And I feel really mean saying this, but there's always something that's off. It's not going to be sometimes the social cues, but there's always a part of the brain when you're doing something like a serious drug.
Oh yeah.
That really takes a part in your like brain and just like your life.
Yeah.
Like you never fully, like, yes, you can recover. Yes, you become, but it's like an addiction. Like you always have to find something else to get addicted to, but like you never fully heal that issue. And like, there's always a part of you that's like
affected. I know what you mean, because
and like damaged.
Yeah, when it's hard drugs like that, like a lot of the time, like there are serious like even health effects that like happen from doing it for so many years. I will say though, like when you
that's
go
what,
down
that's
a road,
I think one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like he clearly did enough drugs for what he's writing to not seem bad, but for a normal person who has lived a pretty healthy life would see. Like, if somebody was going down the same path as him, I don't think they would look at it and be like, it's not normal what he's writing.
Well,
I think because you're also very clear visioned.
But I also will say, when it comes to things like that, and it comes to people,
will say a lot of things.
Will here. When people go through a rough patch, like everyone says, you are who you surround yourself with. And I know that whether it's drugs, whether it's drinking, whether it's partying, whatever it is, and you want to get out of that, you end up like canceling out everybody around you. That
was the next thing I was going to say.
And then you like try to look for people that are in a better place.
Yes.
But I have no problem with that. I have no problem with like people that I've had like friendships with and like people reaching out to me. Like, I have no problem with that. But when it comes to like somebody that I don't even know, and you're seeing me as this like, oh, she's successful, like I want to be surrounded by her, which really at the end of the day, that's what it is. And like, oh, you're pretty now, like now I want to give you attention. Like, it's just, I see that as so fake and so like ungenuine. Like, if you want to come, let's say we were good friends before and it was like something, you know, meaningful, I have no problem with you reaching out. You want to get close again. But when it comes from that place, just these random people like trying to be a part of my life again, it's like, I'm sorry, but there's actually no space for you. Like, and I know that sounds mean, but growing up and being really busy, I have a limited amount of time, and I want to spend it with the people that have a meaningful place in my life. You know, when I already have no time, I want to spend it with my friends. I don't feel the need to go out and make new friends and find other people.
I always talk about that. I'm like, I'm never opposed to not having new friends. I just feel like for me too, it's like, it takes me a lot to trust someone and be like, that's a bitch who won't like turn on me. And I feel like I got into the stage where I'm like, I know who my friends are, and it would take me a lot to have someone in a circle that I like completely trusted again, because, you know, our group of friends, like we've been through a lot together. So it's like, it's already not easy to like bring someone in, you know, and fully trust them. So, but at the same time, it's like you can meet a friend and you hit it off, and it's like, you become super close. But I think like it's not as often as like when you're younger. Like now it's like pretty like you have your ride or dies. Like it's more stable, I would say.
And I don't want to make it seem like the fucking bitch, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I hope everybody can understand what I mean, and like the select kind of situations
Veronica,
that I'm referring to.
Everyone listening gets what you need. though. Like, but we're not calling you a bitch.
No. I just want to say,
when you do have
like,
the time, you're gonna prioritize it for people who have the space in your life and have meaning to it.
And it also just shows me, like, I have a couple of people in my life that will periodically try to reach out and try to see me again and all this stuff, and they're people that we are no longer friends for like a reason. Like, there's a reason why we've grown apart, and it's so hard to explain to those people, like, we're not friends for a reason. We actually have nothing in common. And the only thing that you feel you have in common is that, oh, you see me doing good. You see me being happy. You want to be a part of that. And that's like the most ingenuine thing that for me, because I'm I seek genuine people. And when I feel that you're just coming to me, oh, you see I'm doing good. Like, you want to find a place in my life again. You want to be a part of the fun. Like, I'm just like, ugh,
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I've run into that I used to be friends with, and we've run into in person. We had a blast. We've chatted. It was so chill. We should see each other more often. But when it comes to like, you're messaging me out of nowhere for no reason to try and like get a piece of the drama, get a piece of my life, it's very like, what's your point? Because we had a friendship and it didn't work out for a reason. Like, there's a reason. We're in two totally different places in life. And personally, I don't feel the need to refurbish that.
I think we're done with this topic. You don't have to sell yourself. Everyone,
I'm not selling myself. I just feel like
everyone
it's a
really
relatable thing.
It's so relatable, and I feel like everyone in some way goes through that. And it's like, it's not even to diss the friendship when you did have it, because you learned from it, you grew from it. And, it's like everyone has friends. Like, growing up, you have friends. They die down. They don't stay.
Yeah.
You go through.
It's like an ex.
It's like normal. Like, we need to normalize that, though. Like, it's like an ex. Exactly. Ex. It's not only with exes. It's friendships.
Yeah.
You try it out. You realize that, your paths are different. And then, but like, you needed them in your life in order to grow out of it.
Oh, for sure.
And they're like still a part of it, just not.
Yeah. And there's just like nothing wrong with not keeping a friendship and not like putting it, like, you don't need
like
to.
For anyone listening and you feel like you've had a friendship for like over 12 years, but deep down in your heart it's not it, and it feels toxic, and it feels like they're like either just bringing you down or whatever. Don't think, oh, I've been friends with them for 10 years. Like, I'm just gonna like stay being friends with them because like we've been friends for forever, or like I don't really have any other friends. Like, no, like, let's also normalize that, like it's really, you have to be happy. And
if she's going, where can I get new friends? You're not accepting. Nobody's accepting.
Well, Veronica's not accepting, so guys, don't go to her. But like,
I'm actually, you know what? I'm accepting new friends. I'm not accepting old friends that were not friends for a reason. Does that make sense?
There we go.
There you go.
Look at that.
There's the quote of the day.
So Drake was in town this weekend, and so my work was like, I work for like this boutique that resells consignment stuff and also really cool clothing. And they were like, we really want to get content. And Alessia, like, you'll be like, Ish our model. Ish, you'll take content of people at the festival this weekend. Metro. And I was like,
you couldn't say Metro.
Metro.
You had to put the accent.
Well, Quebec is coming, and it's
Montreal.
coming soon. So get ready. We're going to start speaking French on this podcast really soon. So I went to the festival and for work, and we were like, hey, we're going to take content. There's a lot of influencers we work with that are going to be there. So let's just go. So I went with like my boss and like another influencer. And it was just like, I think I got there too early, and like there was no one really performing that I was like down for. And I also feel like, I was like, what am I doing here? I don't know. I just was like, okay, I'm here for work, I guess. But like, I was just like, like, I don't really feel like being here. And then we ended up leaving. And then apparently the next day, Drake did a surprise entrance. Well, I actually knew from like a little inside scoop that Drake was in town. I also knew he was going to be at Metro. So everyone was like, my God, Drake did like a whole like surprise, like got on stage. Lil Baby was performing, right? Yeah, Lil Baby was performing, and then Drake got on stage, and everyone's like, the ticket was worth it. Like
100%.
Drake came on stage.
Well, I agree though.
I mean, amazing.
I agree. If you book a ticket for Lil Baby and you get Drake,
you're like, normally when you have an opening,
investment.
it's normally someone lower than you, not higher. So I don't really know how that works. But that's definitely, that'll get the crowd going rowdy. So everyone was like, well, Jake's in town. And then my hookup was like, well, Jake's going to be in town and he's going to be here. And they kind of want girls to be there. So do you want to go? And I was like, if I go out and I'm there, it's for one reason and for one reason only. The podcast.
Well, I thought the reason was Drake, but if you want the podcast,
I'm gonna be real. It was more. That's crazy, but it's actually more for the podcast. It was to go to see Drake, but also for the podcast. It was more for. I know no one's gonna believe me, but it's like, what juicy story can I get on this podcast?
So, what juicy story did you get?
They rented out. They rented out in Old Port, Velvet, which is like not really a club that people go to anymore already. So like,
it's, you know, already
I was
always
like,
on like,
I was already like, oh, and then I was like, oh, when I heard Velvet, but then I was like, Drake, okay, and then they were like, no, go, message just when you get there, message the photographer of Drake and like they'll come get you and then you'll be in his booth. And I was like, you know what? Like, it wouldn't be the worst idea if I met Drake. So sure. But first of all, when I was at Metro on the Friday, Drake didn't pop up. So I was rethinking like why I was there on the Friday and not the Saturday. But
fine, you're going to Drake's booth. You could ask him to sing a song right there.
I'm asking all my friends who wants to be in Drake's booth. And one friend is like, her flight's delayed. She's down to go, but she's like, I'm only going to arrive at 1 a.m., babe. But then I got to go home and change. I'm like, he's gone. He's already on a flight back. Like, take the opportunity when it's here. I'm like, you can't come. You're working. My other friend's in Barcelona.
You're a boy.
My other friend is in Costa Rica. I'm like, crazy. We talk about having a small circle, but I really wanted a big one at that point. I'm like, oh my God. And then I thought
you started being the person going, hey babe, I have so much to talk to you about. Can you come to Drake with me?
Yeah, except it's a little more like, you know what? I'm down. And then I asked one of my friends pulled through, and Steph, if you're listening, hey, what's up? And I was like, do you want to come? Let's go for a bit. And she's like, yeah, I want to come. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, let's go. So the girl I went out with, she's fucking hot, okay? And I was like, I know that Drake is this girl is Drake's type, like straight up. Like,
but why does that feel like you're going with the award? Like, you know you're safe. Like, you know you're getting a drink, you're getting in the table, like you're going with the girl you need to go with.
But then also, like, I don't know what other girls are there who got invited. It's like, you can feel like you're like, ooh, you got the inner scoop.
Yeah.
But also you have to remember I'm going out on the Saturday. Everyone knew he was there on the Thursday and the Friday. So it's like, it starts to be less and less exclusive. When you nail it and you're with an artist and you get it on the first day, it's like less people know about it. But by Saturday, everyone's like,
you're at the back of the line.
On Saturday, it's like, where's Drake going?
Yeah.
So anyway, so we get there and then we're just like drinking. It's like open bar and it's a bit like we're there and it's like, when is the award?
Are you in his booth?
No, so now we get there and there's just a bunch of girls, okay? A bunch of girls. I'm like, here we go. What am I doing here? I should have stayed home. So there's a bunch of girls and it's just like, there's no guys. You know that if you see a guy that's in velvet, you know that he has some correlation to Drake. He's either a photographer, he's either his producer, he's something, okay? So there was maybe like 200 girls in velvet. This is like a low-key party, and then there's like maybe like in total like 9 guys.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a
and now
sausage
like
fest?
we're drinking and my friend and I are getting wasted and like I'm forgetting like, wait, it's true, like where's Drake type of thing. So we're like going around and we're like, hey, we don't see him, like what the fuck, like I don't think he's here. And then I message my hookup, I'm like, you sent us here, Drake's not here, like serious groupie shit, like ew.
Sign my boobs.
He's
I
like,
brought the Sharpie.
I don't know what you're talking about, Alessia. He's there. So I'm like, hold the phone. Wait a second. So now as we're doing the turn, this guy comes up to me and Steph and he's like, come have a drink. I have no idea at this point we're talking to Lil Baby. I have no idea. I don't know. I literally don't know what, like the only person I like knew what they looked like. I never heard of one of Lil Baby's songs. I don't know who he is.
Well, if you would put 10 guys in a room, I could not tell you which one Lil Baby is. Actually, 100 guys. Actually, 2 guys, I couldn't say which one Lil Baby is. I could not pick Lil Baby out of a crowd.
Well, I
don't know.
did not know what he looked like.
You're the photographer?
But he had like a bunch of like chains, you know, like crystal chains.
Someone.
So I'm like, who is this? And then my friend Steph's like, that's Lil Baby. I'm like, who's that? Come again? Like, how bad am I? Like, I'm so bad. I'm just like, is Jay-Eazy here?
How do you say like, hey Lil? Or is it hey
Jay-Eazy
baby?
here? Like, I know who he is. And so now he's making us a drink. And now I look in front of me and there's a bunch of girls, but then in the circle where Drake is, where I look and I'm like, oh, he's here. There's 3 girls. One, the girl he's talking to, me and Steph. And we're in the booth. Actually, wait, no. The girl he was talking to had a friend. So there's 4 girls. And he's really like...
This is feeling like Deal or No Deal. Which one will you choose?
Also, if you want to find an artist in a club, just remember, they're never just going to be in the middle of the club. They're always going to be at the back where there's a loophole to just get out. Mm-hmm. They're always going to be at the back door.
True.
So like... It all made sense after when I was like, why are we here? Mm-hmm. Well, I get it. The back door is there. He can go outside. He can do whatever and then come 100%. Back in. And so, like, I know he's staring at my friend Steph. Like, he's talking to the girl he's talking to, but he's staring at Steph. He looks at me a little times, but it's like, nah, I'm not down for her. Like, who's that girl with, like, just, I feel like Drake's into, like, a little bit, like, thicker girls. And Steph has that, like, voluptuous, like, amazing, sick, like, body. And, like, obviously I knew he was going to be down because, like, I know of people he's, like, went for. And, like, that's just his type. Like, I just knew. And she's there, like, like, but like he's talking to a girl, like, what do I do? Do we go say hi? And I literally immediately was like, Veronica at Coachella. We go up to him. What the fuck are we gonna say? And now we gotta get through a girl. Holy shit.
In those moments you realize.
I'm just gonna act like who's Champagne Pappy? I have no idea. That's what I did the whole night. But we spoke to Lil Baby, I guess.
You met Lil Baby. Who's Lil Baby?
It's so weird because when you're in the moment and you're like, wow, like I'm so close. If I wanted to talk to him, I literally could have. What am I going to say?
But see, you get what I'm saying. It's just,
but then you act like you don't know them and you're drinking by the bar and you're talking with the rest of the crew. And it's just like.
But what do you want to, do you know what I mean? Like there's only so much.
I know. And then Steph decides to lose her phone in that circle. It's like, Steph, shut your mouth. I don't care if you lost your phone. Like, we're not doing this right now.
I'll buy you a new fucking phone. I literally don't care right now.
We're not doing this right now. And she's there with the lighter, like the light checking. And then the bouncer, they're very like strict who they allow like in this section. Is like, are you tipping over? Like, is she drunk? Like, we're going to kick your friend out. And I'm like, no.
Drake
like,
looked at her. She's
just looking at her phone. She's just looking at her phone. Like, I swear. And just like at a point, they were like, we're kicking her out. She's like, if I just leave to go check my phone, are you going to let me back in? And the bouncer's like, no.
100%. Well, that's like, you lost your phone. We don't want you.
Anyway, just wild. She ended up finding her phone. She left, went home, went find my iPhone and realized it was still in the club. And like, as they were cleaning up, they like gave her phone. But like,
wow.
So yeah, update. I did not speak to Drake. Update. He does look like he looks, you know,
on pics.
Hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
No?
Hot. Is he hot because he's Drake though? That's the question.
I think he used to be hot because he's Drake.
Hot because he's Drake. I'm gonna be real.
He used to be hot because he's Drake, but now he's like hot. Like in the past 4 years, he really blew up. He used to be Drake, scrawny, and I remember one day seeing a pic and going, "Holy, like Drake!" Like he really said.
He said, "Papi,
muscles."
Yeah,
I don't know.
So yeah. And then I was trying to listen to like Lil Baby's music and I like didn't know what anything was.
I think
I was listening to probably the wrong ones. I only know like probably the top hits.
Yeah.
You know? But then I leave and she had left before me to go find her phone. So I'm outside.
Who do you say bye to? Bye, Drake.
Outside of Velvet alone. And a bunch of people are coming up to me and I'm just like, I'm just trying to get in an Uber. And they're like, so are you happy you met your favorite artist today? I'm like, who's my favorite artist? They're like,
Lil
Drake.
Baby?
I'm like, oh, like. Apparently, Lil Baby's the only person I spoke to.
It is though fun when there's an artist in Montreal because, like I said,
I know because it never happened. So that's why I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Like, it feels so like
it feels
accessible,
so
and it's like you're in. I don't care if you're Drake. You're in my city. Here we
Here
go.
we go. She was in the booth going, "This is my city."
But like, you know
bitch."
what? I really thought he was gonna come in. I feel like artists are very like they come in on Thursday, they're there maybe Saturday, and then they're out like the dust. Like you never hear them. But I really feel like he stayed Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, that's a bit long.
And then I was even like Sunday, I saw like a girl was posting that he popped up at a girl's bridal shower.
That's not who
he,
came
like,
to my cousin's bridal shower.
He made like an appearance and like people were videotaping, and I just like saw on Instagram, and I was just like. Even I wanted to be like, Drake, it's time to go home. You know what I mean? When you're overstaying your stay, now it's like you're becoming that guy who's not Drake. Like, you're inaccessible. Like, we shouldn't be able to see you at a baby
I know what you mean.
At a bridal shower. Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%
my gay friend was like, enough now, Drake. It's time to go.
But you know what I
And
think
was
it
dying.
is? Like, in Montreal, we don't have the paparazzis. We don't have the snitches. We say Drake's here. Oh my god! Like we don't know how to act with a celeb.
It's so
we say sign this plate. We're putting it on the wall.
It's so
They
true.
probably
Like,
go, "This is
we
easy
don't
peasy."
have like paparazzi. It's not really a thing in Montreal.
Yeah.
I think that's why he popped his face in that.
He said, "I'll make the paparazzi myself."
That's so wild though. The
Toronto.
best,
He's from Toronto, Montreal. Like,
yeah, I had the best bridal shower. Drake showed up. It's a bit like biggest flex for her.
I don't even want the wedding anymore.
Biggest flex for her. Him? Not sure about that.
Guys, if I'm having a bridal shower and Drake shows up, it's like, no, I'm not the bride. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm available. Babe, you're okay with a third in this marriage? It's Drake. You wouldn't accept Drake as a third in our marriage.
What about G-Eazy?
He's saying no.
Was there somebody you would?
Yeah, seriously. Is there an exception?
He's like, it's not going to be a male. It may be a female. I'm dead. Well, guys, that's the little scoop on us lately.
I will just
you will say. You've been wanting to say.
I just speaking of,
I will say
when you don't know what to say.
Not taking the conch away from you. You could speak.
The conch. You know how we're saying like celeb, you don't know what to say to them.
I was hoping he was just going to talk to Steph, and then I was just going to be like, hey, what's up?
But that's our problem, because as girls, we don't know what to say to celebrities because we never do that pickup line. But men, you know what? I think they could go up to any celebrity because they have pickup lines like it's crazy.
What do you want? What do I say? I don't think it's any easier being a guy.
I realize.
Give me an example.
Okay, well, this is what I'm getting at. Is I'm literally I'm getting breakfast while I'm in LA, okay? And I'm at an egg slut. And I'm getting my breakfast sandwich, and I'm sitting down and I see a guy, and like I can already tell by the way he looked at me that like he's gonna try and talk to me, and I'm like, here we go. Like I have no makeup on, like don't speak to me. What could you possibly say? He turns around and he goes, sorry. And I'm like, I go, yes.
Want to eat my egg slut.
100%. And it's like, I'm waiting for it to
love
come,
egg slut.
And I go, yes. And he goes, do you think those are apartment buildings? And I said, what? He's like, that building there. Is that apartments? And I was like, excuse me.
You're like, do I have I don't know, realtor on my fucking head?
I was like, yeah, they look like apartments. And he said, yeah, I was just wondering because of the balconies. And I'm like, am I like, and then I said, yeah, I don't know. And I turned around and I think like, babe, like, you're good. Like, save it. Like, don't use that one again on any girl. Like, don't ever reuse that pickup line. So how is
that supposed to be good?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, these guys, they pull out anything. Is that an apartment building? Right. Are you fucking kidding me?
Like, what would you, like, if I see a hot guy, like, I'm never going to go up to him. But
is that a Tesla?
But what could I say? If they have a dog, that's the only time I will maybe say, oh my God, he's so cute. Oh my God. And hope and still hope that he makes the conversation. But if there's no dog, I have no word. I don't know what I'm saying.
Well, like I said, men, they try everything. Is that an apartment building, babe? You really lost me on that one. Where's the conversation going from here?
I was gonna go up to Drake and say, hey, so nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you. Like, no, just
hey, I love your music. Hey, get out of the section.
I love your work. That one song.
Hey, what's your name?
You know what killed me? My friend, she had a caption on one of her pictures that was Drake. She removed it, but before going, if that's not manifesting that she wants that man, I don't know what is.
Well, she probably lost her phone in the process of removing the caption.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of the Chemical X podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and also tell your friends about us. I'm Alessia.
I'm Veronica, and see you next week.
And we out.